Hello and welcome to day 2 of our coverage of the World Economic Forum in Davos. Of course, Wednesday will be a very anticipated day because President Trump is expected to address the gathering here. But things are just about picking pace today. Yesterday was inaugural day, so the movement was a little slow. But today we are seeing a lot of action at the Congress Center downstairs, a lot of delegates. I ran into 2 CEOs in the morning, Anisha of Mahindra Group as well as TV Narendran of Tata Steel, and I think we'll see many more whizzing past us. We also saw the global CEO of MasterCard just go in. But our coverage continues here. We got you some great voices yesterday at the intersection of AI, policy as well as business, and we're going to continue with that today. So we kick off the show then with the PwC Global CEO Survey, which is an annual fixture of the World Economic Forum, and things there don't look very bright. CEOs are grappling with a lot of uncertainty on the back of changing geopolitics as well as the impact of AI. Now, I caught up with PwC's global chair Mohamed Kande as well as its India chairperson Sanjeev Krishan to get a sense of the world and how CEOs in India are grappling in this new normal. Let's listen in. It's that time of the year when PwC releases its global CEO survey on the sidelines of the World Economic Forum here at Davos, Switzerland. And Mohamed, on the face of it, it's all gloom and doom.
Necessary.
It says CEO confidence and revenue outlook hits 5-year low.
Right, because it's 30%, basically, compared to what we had last year, which was a little bit higher. This is the lowest we have had in the last 5 years. That is very true. But we have to understand the why. Because there's something behind the numbers, right? And the reason why you have that level of confidence is because of the pace of change that we are seeing today across 2 different dimensions. The first one is on the technology side. AI. The technology disruption is moving at a faster pace. The adoption is not delivering the benefits that companies would expect, and they still have to continue to invest the capital. The second dimension is around the geopolitical turmoil that we are currently witnessing, around the fact that there is a lot of uncertainty today about what might happen next. And this is creating a sentiment for many CEOs today saying that, I don't know what to do next. So maybe 30% of them are, basically saying they can see a path to growth. Some others are saying that it's hard to see a path to within all the turbulence of the day, or turbulence of the year. That's really what it is. So understanding the why is also very important.
Right. How much of this is dictated by geopolitics? How much by AI? Because it's also very hard for CEOs to make decisions on where and how to deploy capital when the rules keep changing every day. 1 week you're fine, the next week you could have tariffs on 8 European nations. So how, is that impacting the decision-making ability?
It is, but on the AI front, we have to understand that the sentiment is also driven by what technology to use, what technology to buy, how fast to adopt it, how much money is it going to cost. So there are a lot of other dimensions beyond the geopolitical side that create that sentiment. This is capital allocation, basically. Making capital allocation in time of uncertainty creates a lot of stress for CEOs.
And the other thing that I wanted to ask you about, Mohamed, was in terms of AI itself. How is it disrupting firms like yours? Because many people feel that, people can just turn to AI for various solutions. How has it changed the paradigm for consulting firms?
So, for us so far, and I would tell you, let me start by saying that we have 364,000 people around the world. We gave access to AI, whether ChatGPT and Copilot and other tools, access to it, actually a lot of other large language models, to more than 75% of our people. We paid for it. Why? Because we know that we have to give our people access to artificial intelligence for them to understand how to increase own productivity, not being afraid of it. That's the first thing that we had to do. The second thing was to say that how can AI augment our people and increase the productivity? That's what we are facing now. We have witnessing artificial intelligence increasing the productivity of our people, and any roles on any activities that are being displaced, it's not by displacing the people. It's by making them more productive to do other things of higher value that we need them to do. That's what we're doing at PwC today. But the third thing that I will tell you that is happening, that there is not a lot of discussion, AI is creating new opportunities. It's not about what we do today. AI is giving us the ability to do new things, deliver new values. Therefore, we are adding new jobs. We are looking for more people in parts of the world today that are very difficult to find because we have to compete against a lot of the technology companies. It's a good problem to have. AI is actually going to generate jobs. It's going to be a net positive.
Got it. Sanjeev, in terms of India, you said that, there is improvement this time around because of the 3Ls. 1L is done with labor. But one other thing is the predictability of doing business, not just the ease of doing business. Recently, the Supreme Court, for instance, ruled against Tiger Global for a retrospective investment, and that has opened up concerns on whether this is, the first of many such funds or returns that will be contested. So what does that do in terms of the predictability of doing business in India for foreign funds?
Yeah. Well, first thing, let me just say predictability reduces risk premium. No question about that. That's a given. I think when it comes to the particular judgment that you're referring to, of course, I think the jury is still out on it. And I'm sure a lot is going to be written about it.
Might go to arbitration also.
But we don't know where it happened now that the Supreme Court has ruled on it, and it could disrupt many things. But I hope that it will be specific to the fact pattern of this particular case and not just going to be used, including by the revenue authorities, for every investment that was made prior to 2007.
But if they tasted blood with this?
Well, that's why I said the jury is out on this at this point in time. I do believe, let me just say, I hope that it is actually based on the fact patterns of this particular case and not their assessment more broadly about every investment that came to India pre 2017. And I like to believe that having been through this process many years back on another matter, which was the Vodafone case, India would not want to repeat that incident all over again, which might have impacts of scaring investors away. So I do believe that it is a pivotal move, and I do hope that this is actually fact-based and not something which we will see, causing more litigation. Let me just put it that way.
Time to get you another AI voice then. We spoke to Cerebras' co-founder and CEO Andrew Feldman. Cerebras is a challenger to the likes of nvidia with their wafer-sized chip, which is a challenger to the GPU or the TPUs. Now, we spoke to Andrew about the demand they are seeing, their recent $10 billion deal with OpenAI, and if AI is indeed in bubble territory. Let's listen in. There is always this concern about an AI bubble. Is AI in bubble territory? But on the other hand, you're only seeing usage, as you said, going through the roof. Anthropic released a study recently on usage, and they're seeing, and I think OpenAI said they've already hit 20 billion in ARR. So, take us through these conflicting trends. Is some part of the layer in bubble territory? Is the application layer perhaps underinvested? What are you seeing?
Okay, I think whenever people see a rapidly growing market, they talk about bubble. Mm-hmm. That's not our view. What we see is strong demand, and we see strong usefulness. Right? That's the key in trying to understand a bubble. Are people really using this? Is it creating economic value? And what we're seeing in applications like coding, that it makes coders stronger. It enables them to write more code. It enables journalists like yourself to do deep research much quicker. And so not only are people using AI, they're using it more often. People like my parents who a year ago weren't using it. Now people in different demographics are using AI. They're using it all the time, and they're using the bigger and more sophisticated models. And so what's happening is AI is diffusing throughout the entire economy. And that's not a bubble. That's the way a new technology moves through an economic system.
Are you planning any sort of tie-ups in India, manufacturing partnerships, semiconductor initiatives, or would India's supply chain ecosystem have to evolve a little bit more for you to consider that?
Sure, we are seeking partnerships around the world. We have partnerships in India. We have partnerships throughout Southeast Asia in our manufacturing supply chain, but also in partnerships for for software. I think India has a collection of some of the world's leading software engineers, and we're seeing more and more interesting AI work come out of India. And so I think our interest in the subcontinent is enormous. As a market, as a place to partner, as a place to deploy gear, I think one would be a fool to overlook India.
Great. Andrew, as I mentioned in the beginning, we saw multiple big headlines this year from the world of chips. What do you think is going to be the defining trend for 2026? Will NVIDIA's dominance be challenged further by Google's TPUs? Will we see more chips coming into the market? What are Cerebras' own plans?
So I think we've already seen their dominance be challenged. I think we had a series of events. We had Google's TPU underpinning Gemini 3.
Yeah.
So what we saw was a training of a foundation model entirely without NVIDIA. And then we saw the rise of fast inference. And we saw NVIDIA admit that they didn't have a solution, and they spent $20 billion in an acquisition to buy the number 2 player. They bought Grok. And so this was, we're the number 1 player, so we that was okay by us.
Did you get an acquisition offer by any chance?
We don't kiss and tell. Thank you for asking, though. We're gentlemen. But I think what that has shown is that there are definitely chinks in the armor. That the GPU is not the only machine that can be used in AI. I think the mental moat for those who thought that AI equaled NVIDIA has been crossed. And I think what they admitted by buying a company for that amount of money is that there are things the GPU doesn't do well. And those are exactly the things we do well at Cerebras, and those are the things that we believe are the fastest growing.
Away from that to the world of IT, we spoke to C Vijayakumar, the CEO and MD of HCLTech, who's had very candid views on how the industry is grappling with the advent of AI and why it's urgent for companies to reinvent themselves. He said IT will not be the jobs engine that it is today unless companies think and operate in new ways. Let's listen in. You've also been one of the most vocal IT leaders when it comes to calling out the traditional business model and how that needs to change. It cannot be a linear business model anymore where, growth has a direct correlation with headcount addition. Now, what is the state of this industry today? Because it's very hard to determine if AI is already having an impact. We've seen some of your rivals consciously cut headcount, but again, it is not clear, if that was a result of overhiring during COVID and now there is some correction going on, or is it a result of productivity gains? Give us a sense of what's happening, because for the longest time, IT has been such a strong engine of jobs for India. What is the ground situation with respect to AI and hiring?
So there are 2 broad dimensions to this. One is that IT services industry has been delivering a certain set of services for a very long time. Those services evolved from traditional to digital and on-premise to cloud, and all the new technologies, SaaS, all of that happened.
And then you had a SMAC phase,
yeah,
right?
there was
Social,
a SMAC
mobile,
phase, which
cloud,
became a lot
analytics.
more mobility and all of that. So those areas are all getting significantly disrupted with the advent of AI, because almost everything that we could do without the help of generative AI and all the new agentic solutions that are available, it could be done at least 30% lesser effort, more automation with better quality. Now, is that adoption going to happen overnight? The answer is no. It's happening gradually. It is picking up good momentum. So that's going to cause deflation in a meaningful chunk of what all IT services companies are doing, right? Whether you acknowledge it or not, that's going to happen. So the approach that we're taking is, can we be proactive about doing it so that clients see the value of how this technology can simplify, automate, and bring more efficiency and better quality, better speed, better client experience, so that we can try and get a little more wallet share from those clients and also expand our market share. So that's the approach we have taken. And because of that, we are able to defend a large part of our existing business. Even though there is some deflation that's happening, we are getting more from the same clients, right? So that's what is making us the fastest growing company now for the 4th year in the running among the large caps.
You've traditionally been strong in the ER&D space, and recently we saw TCS, entering into a deal to build AI data centers. Just wanted to understand, is this something that you will be interested in?
We've generally followed a very asset-light model as a business model. We don't think in the physical infrastructure there is really an incremental value that we can add. So if you can't add incremental value, why put capital and not really deliver some unique value, right? So there are enough data center providers in the country, so we leverage them, partner with them, and drive it.
Right. Will IT continue to be a big engine of jobs, CVK?
I think if you don't reimagine the business, I don't think so. But there is so much of an opportunity to do things very differently for it to really be a strong growth industry. And if you're growing, obviously, it will mean more talent addition.
So what's your go-to AI tool these days?
In everything. Like I'm a big fan of OpenAI and ChatGPT, and everything revolves around that.
Have you tried vibe coding as well?
I've not done it myself, but I'm sure a lot of people are doing it. Yeah.
That brings us then to the final big voice in this bulletin, the Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Devendra Fadnavis. We caught him outside the Maharashtra Pavilion and did a detailed interview on the Davos Promenade on why World Economic Forum makes sense for a state like Maharashtra, the amount of investments that they are planning to draw in this year. Well, they are targeting more than the 16 lakh crore that they got last year. Also, his take on Andhra Pradesh offering land at throwaway prices, and the criticism around data center investments because they generate few jobs but end up guzzling a lot of power and water. Let's listen in. Coming to Davos and World Economic Forum 2026, it's a full house, almost a full house from India. We went to the India Pavilion. There were 9 states and 10 states together are showcasing this time. From Assam to Jharkhand to Maharashtra to Gujarat to Karnataka to Telangana to Andhra to Uttar Pradesh to Madhya Pradesh to Kerala to Karnataka. I hope I got all 10 states in the mix. So how is Maharashtra going to stand out? Because traditionally, if you look at it, Maharashtra has always been one of India's top investment destinations, one of the biggest contributors to GDP. But how are you going to position yourself when there is so much of competition, especially from newer states like Andhra?
First of all, let me tell you that I am very happy that so many Indian states are participating here. I think it is because of the competitive federalism which our Honorable Prime Minister has started within. And actually, I would like to say that the entire investment ecosystem in India is created by the initiatives of Honorable Prime Minister. So now is a time when every single state showcases its capability and attracts more and more, investment in their state. So far as Maharashtra is concerned, historically we have been a very powerful state in terms of inviting the investments, and of course in last 10 years, if you can see, Maharashtra has grown manifold in terms of investment. Even last time when I was in Davos, we could attract investments worth 16 lakh crores, and I'm very sure that this time we'll surpass that number because huge interests are pouring in and people are talking to us, and all the serious players are actually interacting with us. So I'm sure that we'll be able to showcase, because today I always say that in today's world, more than capital, credibility counts. And in Maharashtra, we have created a very credible ecosystem. And this credible ecosystem actually, attracts the investors more, because we have not just been promising, we have been delivering on our promises. That is very important.
You've actually given us a big headline, 16 lakh crore worth of investments announced last Davos.
Yes.
And this time you're confident that you will surpass that target.
Absolutely.
तो टारगेट बता दीजिए.
नहीं,
डबल होगा.
देखिए मैं अभी ये तो नहीं कहता हूँ कि इट विल बी डबल, बट बहुत अच्छा होगा.
बहुत अच्छा मतलब 20-25.
Let's hope so.
But some people feel that Davos should not be about MoUs. It is about learning about the changes, the new industries. What is your feeling? Is World Economic Forum useful for you to initiate some of these conversations with potential investors?
I totally agree with this statement. Davos is not just about MoUs, not just about investment. It is more about networking. It is more about learning. It is more about interacting with the frontier technologies, new technologies, with the changing world. And I think MoU is just a byproduct of that.
Right.
Because today, if you want to stay relevant in the global investment ecosystem, you have to be present in Davos. And mostly foreign investors are now collaborating with Indian industries. So those foreign investors and Indian industries, they feel that Davos is the right place to enter into MoU, because mostly they also have their meetings around this time near Davos, in Switzerland. They plan it like that. So I think MoU is a byproduct. But more than that, in Davos, you get to know so many new technologies, new things, new happenings, which are shaping the world economy, which are changing the world economy. Now this new wave of AI, so last year's theme in Davos was AI, because I think that is something which is revolutionizing entire economic ecosystem. I feel that once you come to Davos, you get a bigger perspective.
With that, then we come to the end of day 2 of our bulletin here on Money Control. But stay tuned. We will be bringing you more updates as the World Economic Forum gathers pace.